Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog. So this week my goal is to finish Lord of the Rings and then start Mexican Gothic, which I have somewhere around here, and I will hopefully read that. I am going to return all of the library books except for that one and just read that one just because I know that one I probably won't get again for a long time because I was already quite a ways down the line, and I was really surprised when I did get it, but I'm assuming that's just because some of the libraries are still not opened yet. So that's the only thing I can think of as to why I jumped the line. But I don't think that will happen a second time, and the other ones I know I can get pretty quickly again when I'm ready to. Fingers crossed that nothing major happens when it comes to our libraries. But yeah, I really just want to focus on my own books, and I have several books on my TBR from 2 videos back where I talked about my TBR for the September that I really want to read, especially the first time reads, because I've been rereading a lot of things lately. So I want to get back into that. It also makes these reading vlogs a little bit more interesting because I'm not just talking about things that I already know about, so you'll get a little bit more when it comes to my reactions. But right now with this one, as I said, I'm on the Return of the King. I probably won't actually read like the very last bit of it, so without reading that bit, I only have like a little under 100 pages left. So I just want to like kick that out tonight. That's my goal. But when it comes after the first part, the Fellowship of the Ring, we I know this is something that a lot of people have issues with, is that so at the beginning of the Two Towers, we are in the perspective of Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn, and then mixed in with Pippin and Merry. And then like halfway through, we go back to the beginning of where back to the beginning of that time. So like we go back to when Frodo and Sam first left the Fellowship, and we see their perspective going back, working forward to where we left off with Aragorn and all of them. And then it's basically the same thing, except that for the third book, for the third part, but it's a little more faster. So the first 2 parts there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of traveling and going on journeys, which a lot of people don't like, but I love journeys, so I think that's what I loved so much about this book, was the journey aspect of it and the trials that came with that. But anyways, it's going a lot more faster with this last part because we're getting into more of like the battles, and we're getting close to the climax of the book. So absolutely, I think I must say the Fellowship of the Ring I think is really good, but I do think it's really hard because this is one book to me. So but yeah, absolutely love this book so much, as you can tell, because my book is like torn. It's like really bad, so it's a little bit hard to read this, but eventually I will get a new copy, I think. Anyways, that is really what my goal is for this reading vlog, is to finish this, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be starting Mexican Gothic, and that'll be the main crux of this vlog. So I think what I'm gonna do is, since the main, hopefully, cross my fingers, that the main crux of this vlog will be Mexican Gothic, a new book, I think that I will start, it kind of is already that way, but I think I'm gonna start like right in, I start and end as I started end a book, instead of just doing like a weekly reading vlog, if that makes sense. So I kind of want to do it that way. So we shall see how that works out. I don't really like super long reading vlogs like when I'm making them, and I get kind of long for some reason. So that's kind of why I want to do it that way. Anyways, we don't really need all the details of my thought process here. But yeah, I live in California, and the smoke from the fires is getting worse where we are. It's really hard, worrisome, and it's like I just step out of the house, I come back, and my whole like head and lungs are just and chest are just going crazy because of it. So we really need prayers for rain, or just for them to be able to contain and control these fires. This is the longest I think that we've had fires, and this is the worst we've had. I don't remember it being so bad the entire time that I've lived here. So it's very scary and worrisome right now. And 2020 hates us. But yeah, I'm gonna get off because I really want to finish this tonight, and I'm rambling. Also, let's say hi, Noodle. Can you say hi? Oh. She's getting ready for nighttime. This is our nighttime routine. Into the blinky she goes. Oh, baby. So yeah, I'll check with you when I have an update. Hey y'all, good morning. Today is Monday, and today, or rather yesterday, I said I was going to finish the Lord of the Rings by finishing up Return of the King, the third and last part of this book, but sadly, I failed. I failed big time because I thought I had like under 100 pages, and I think I psyched myself out and made myself feel like I couldn't finish it when I realized that I had over 100 pages. I actually think at the beginning I had 140 pages, and I think I only read like 20 or 30 pages. So I have like 120 to 110 pages left of Return of the King now. But today I will finish it. I'm not psyching myself out on this. I am capable of reading that amount of pages in one day time. So tonight will be that. I will do it today because I really wanted to be starting Rex the King Gothic, and I really wanted to be done with that so I could bring all my books to the library and focus back on the books that I had actually planned for my TBR for this month, that were on my own shelves, because I really need to start focusing on those books that especially the ones I had not read yet. So I gotta like get going on that. I gotta focus on this and work towards that goal. Apparently we have mice in the house again. But anyways, today I just have to go to one place, and then I will be hopefully continuing on with NCIS, because I kind of stopped watching it a little bit because I got to this one episode that I'm not really in the mood to watch, except at the same time I really want to watch it. It's like a weird thing because it's not like it's a bad episode, it's still a really good episode, but I'm kind of not in the mood for jerk people, and I don't know, I have enough of that as far as I really wish they had kept Quinn and kicked Taurus off. We don't need another misogynist, sexist jerk, and that's exactly what we got. And whereas Tony grew and matured, I don't see Taurus ever doing that, and I'm tired of these kind of characters. We don't need that kind of example on our screens and in our media. We need a better example of what a man can and should be. And so I'm just frustrated with that. I also don't really like Bishop either that much, because I think she thinks that she has the right to certain things that she doesn't have the right to. And I don't know, she's kind of got, like, she was really good at the beginning, and now she's kind of like on the bad, like, I just don't like her as much anymore. So yeah, like, I'm watching it because, yeah, there's good episodes in the middle on the mix. So I might just skip this episode, we shall see, because I really do want to watch it, but because I would like to catch up on it. I do not know how filming is being handled with COVID and everything, and I find it really frustrating to like even think about, because the United States is a very selfish and self-centered country, and you see this by how people do not care enough about the safety of those around them by wearing masks, etc. And you just don't see it enough. And it's like we have become a very self-centered and selfish country. You know, in the 20s with that other flu pandemic, people wore masks. Everybody wore masks. I mean, there might have not been people who liked it. Nobody likes wearing masks, people, okay? Nobody likes wearing masks. But we do it to protect those around us. It's not to protect ourselves, it's to protect those around us. And if you can't do that, I just find that really frustrating and selfish and just a horrible example of what this country has become. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that. I'm really hoping that the smoke today won't be as bad also. But I have a bad feeling that it is, because I could kind of already see smoke in the air when there's the window. So, today, 2020, you know, we all know 2020 hates us. But yeah, I'm going to let you go, because I'm rambling here. Hopefully when I check in again, it'll be to say that I finished this and have started Mexican Gothic. So, I have finished Lord of the Rings. I am done reading with this copy. This will probably be my last time reading with this copy, because I cannot endure that. But I am very happy that I'm done, for multiple reasons, just because of reading that copy is a pain in the butt, and also because that means that I can now watch the last two and not. I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but when I'm in the middle of watching something and I want to like or reading something and I want to watch the thing that it's based off of, especially if it's like a series, it's a little weird for me to do that. So I tend to like not try to do that until I've read like the whole thing. So I've been really wanting to continue on with the watch, because Viggo Mortensen does such an amazing job as Aragorn, and I love Legolas and Gimli, and they just come alive in those movies. But I still really love I think I love the first two parts much more than Return of the King when it comes to the book, just because I really don't like Sam and Frodo's part of the story. I really love the other parts of the story, and obviously it makes sense that like the last part of this book focuses on them, because they haven't gotten to Mount Doom yet, and so we have to see that being played out, and it's just like you know, and I know the story like the back of my hand, so I just didn't. I kind of like skimmed a little bit of that, but something that I just realized is that in the movie Return of the King, when Aragorn goes on the path of the dead, it shows that he brings the undead, the ghosts, the ones that the Oathbreakers, to the actual battle in Gondor, and that's how they fulfill their oath. But in the book, that is not actually how it happens. So like in the movie, you see them all riding in the enemy's boats. You don't know that, and then all of a sudden they come flying out with the undead, or rather the Oathbreakers. But in the books, they fulfill their oath by helping defeat the enemies that had these boats, and that's how they fulfill their oath and are able to be actually dead and at peace. And then they go with the boats and like fake the whole thought of them being the enemy reinforcements. So it was just interesting that I never caught that before, but definitely not something that I'm like super bothered with, because I can understand like why, because that would be like it's already long enough of a movie and it doesn't really change too much. So nothing too drastically. So I am done with this. I can move on to something that's new. And as I said, I'm going to be starting Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and this one I think is a horror book, which I did not remember or realize. So this is centered around Nomi T, because I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She receives a frantic letter from her cousin asking for help. She says that he is trying to poison me. And so she goes off to High Place, which is the home that she is living in at the moment. And she finds some very strange things going on. It seems like the house might be alive, and she gets an ally in an unlikely place, and she doesn't know if she can trust that person. And so I don't know what I'm going to think about this. I'm not really into horror, and I did not realize that this was going to be like on the horror side of things. So yeah, we shall see. But I'm going to try it now because I think I already mentioned this, but I just want to return all the books from the library, and this is like the only one that I think I will try, just because I already was on a long list, and I'm kind of surprised that I jumped the line, just because it normally that's not how it would happen. But I think maybe some of the libraries are not all fully opened in our areas, in our library system, so that's probably why. But I thought I'd better just read this now while I have it, just in case if I did return it and then wanted to pick it up again, I would have a long wait for real that time. The other ones I'm sure I can get back when I am ready to go back to getting books in the library. I just really want to focus on my own books, that especially my first time reads that I have on my shelf, just because I have so many of them, and I just really want to focus on them at the moment. But yeah, so I'm not sure if this is adult or if this is YA. I'm thinking it's adult because it is I'm married. But there's a lot of booktubers who are YA, who are predominantly YA, picking this up. So that's why it like threw me if this was meant to be YA or adult. But that will be what I'm reading starting tomorrow, because I am done reading for the day. And I've just been catching up on some YouTube videos for now. Noodles being weird over there. And so I will just be done. So I will check with you probably tomorrow, and we'll see how I'm liking Mexican Gothic. Hey all, so today is Tuesday, and I was planning on starting Mexican Gothic, and I did get about 20 pages in, and I do not like the writing style very much. I think that there's just something a little off about it, and like I get like like there's nothing wrong with having an unlikable character protagonist. Like I get why people like that. It's a little bit different, but I actually like to like my protagonist. It helps me, for me personally, it's my way of connecting with the story, is that if I have a protagonist that I at least can understand or relate to, or just I actually can care for that character. I just found Nomi right off the bat to be kind of bratty and annoying, and I get like the social issues and the fact that, you know, with the time that she's living in, all that, like I get that, but I don't think that she needs to be like that. And like it's just like how when her father was asking or telling her that she needed to go to her cousin, how she even with the letter and everything, she didn't even care. Like she wanted to have gone, except that, and even when he was saying it, it's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Almost like, how can you not, when you just read this letter from her that clearly makes it seem like there's something going on with her, in a very bad way. And I couldn't get behind that. And then I got really caught up in some reviews. I was planning to continue on, even with all that, just to see where it was gonna go. But there's incest in this book. You can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I saw several people talk about this, and I do not care for incest. I think it's kind of despicable, and the fact that it seems to be written in a way that, based on other people's reviews, in a way that is okay. Like I'm just no. So yeah, I don't know why people like this book. Even with all that, I couldn't get behind the writing. I don't know. It's just. Also, I did not know when this was being sent. I thought this actually. Oh. Never mind, that's my own fault. It says it right on the cover that it said in the 1950s. But I went in line with that, so I was really thrown for a loop because I was like, this does not seem like modern day Mexico. And I was like, it just doesn't seem like modern day at all. And I'm like, okay. But anyways, I know some people had like issues with like certain things about how with certain things that were happening in Mexico at the time not being like presented in the book, like, or whatever. And I'm just like, or like how they think that this kind of setting or whatever isn't realistic to Mexico. But I'm just like, there's multiple facets to any country, and I'm sure, this could be played out there too. But anyways, oh my gosh, 20 pages. I'm not rating it. I just think that I wasn't hitting off with it right off the bat. So we're moving on to my own books. So I will be starting Tell the Wolves I Am Home by Carol Rivka Brunt. So that will be what I will be reading for the rest of the week. Hopefully this one I hit off with better. But yeah, this one is set in 1987. Things I didn't know. I know that. And the protagonist is 14-year-old June Elvis, who uncle and her are very close. And he was a renowned painter named Ben Weiss, and he's like, I think they were able to like relate and connect with each other, and then he dies from a mysterious illness that her mother won't talk about. And at the funeral, she sees this man that she recognizes from Finn's apartment, and he and her start to get to know each other, and I think she starts to like finding some answers about her uncle as they start a friendship with each other. So definitely will be looking forward to reading this, and hopefully I'm gonna try not to look at reviews, because seriously, every time I read reviews, I find a reason not to read books. So I'm not going to. I'm gonna focus in and just read. So that's my update for the day. For the moment, gotta see the noodle. She's somewhere around here. Oh, there you are. Hello. There you go. You can see her better there. I will check with you when I have another update. So I totally forgot to talk about this, but like 2 clips ago, you saw that I was watching the one of the Lord of the Rings movies, which would be the second one, The Two Towers. And I totally forgot how long that movie was. I thought it was only like 2.5 hours long, which was like, I was like, oh, I'll just stay up a little bit later than normal, and just watch it. But it was 3 hours long. And even with me skipping over the Frodo and Sam parts, which I never really, they're not my favorite parts, either from the book or the movie, as much as, rather not just, it's not really just the Frodo and Sam parts, it's the fact that Gollum is in the mix. So when Gollum was not in the mix, it was fine. But anyways, so even with skipping that, it went over too long for me to continue on. So that will be what I'll be finishing up today also, is just finishing up that. And yeah, I really love the movies, and if it wasn't for Gollum, I probably wouldn't skip that part as much, but I shouldn't have. But I'm just not in the mood to deal with Gollum this time when it comes to rewatching. Usually I will watch it for the most part, but this time around, especially because the movies change Frodo's character so much that it really bothers me. It's just that's one of the major problems I have with the movies, is that they they made Frodo weaker and not as smart enough to realize that he shouldn't trust Gollum, and that's not the way it was in the books at all. He never trusted Gollum. He knew that he played a part because Gandalf told him that Gollum would probably end up playing a vital role in his attempt to bring the ring to Mordor, and so that's why it was partially why he kept Gollum near, is like when he knew that he couldn't avoid Gollum. But anyways, that's kind of why I don't really like watching those parts when it comes to the movie, but I absolutely love watching the other parts of the movie. So I just been skipping through, especially this time around, with the Gollum and Frodo aspect of that story, just because of that, and because I'm not really in the mood for it. So yeah, it shouldn't take but like an hour of my time tonight to finish it, because I had like an hour and a half left, but it might be even less than that because it says I'm skipping those parts. But anyways, I also just realized how there is hints in the books that there is a romance between Aragorn and what's her name? Arwen. And you get hints of it in the book, but it is not a prominent part of the story. And in the movies, you definitely see that more, which I don't mind. I love the romance, and I love that whole part of it in the movies, so I don't really mind it. But I can completely understand why others do, because they don't see if it wasn't like that in the book, it shouldn't be. But I also don't agree with people saying that there weren't any aspects of that in the books, because there were. You see where he says that he couldn't return those feelings to Eowyn, and he does have Arwen's star, or whatever it's called. So there's clear hints towards the fact that they were connected in that way. But yeah, these are just all things that only people who truly love Lord of the Rings are going to be interested in. So, but yeah, this is where I'm at. Also, I will be also starting, I thought I was only going to be reading Tell the Wolves Come Home, but I'm going to actually start Pride and Prejudice to either today or tomorrow. So those are what this week's reading vlog is really going to be centered on, mostly, hopefully, and that I actually finish these two at some point, because seriously, I'm a little bit nervous that I'm not going to finish anything because of things. But I've actually already started a little bit of this, and I'm going to say that the synopsis, I really wish they wouldn't. Okay, I know a lot of people have issues with, like, when synopsises or whatever, or just when people are talking about the books, and they have, like a queer, anybody who identifies LGBTQ plus. I don't know what the right terms are anymore, but things keep changing, and I can't keep up, it seems like. But anyways, I know a lot of people say, like, when the synopsis or when people are talking about, and they hide certain things, hide their identity, like it's like part of the, like it's like a huge reveal in the book or something, when it shouldn't be. And I don't really understand that. And so it's not like I do feel like the synopsis kind of feels like does that a little bit, because it makes it like it says it's a mysterious illness, but in like the first page, very first page, we realize that the protagonist knows exactly what her uncle has, which is AIDS. And I'm not gonna hide from it. It's set in 1987, when AIDS was a huge thing. I mean, it's still big, but you know what I mean. Like, they didn't understand it. They were trying to figure things out with it, and there was a lot of, you know, how people were treated who had AIDS, etc., going on in this. So I didn't care for the fact that the synopsis hides it and makes it out like it's some secret from the child, when it wasn't. I don't think she understood it, but then a lot of people didn't understand AIDS at that time, and how people got it, and etc. And so I find that problematic with the synopsis, how it does that. But I am liking the writing style, and I am liking June, so that is a positive start to the book. So I will update you more later on. I've just been catching up on YouTube videos, and hopefully tonight I will be finishing the Two Towers, because I love it. Okay, I'm going to go back to Lord of the Rings, because I love Lord of the Rings so much. But especially in the movies, I love Gimli and Legolas's relationship. It's so funny, and Gimli is hilarious, and I just love their banter and all of that. And you kind of get more of like a. I feel like the movies did such a great job in like portraying the relationship. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to that part, because I got to where they were attacked on the way to Edoras, I think it was, where, you know, it's the place that they would go to whenever they needed shelter and a safe place for the women and children, when they're going off to battle, I think, that kind of thing. So it was like their safe haven, and yeah, that's where they're going. That did not happen in the books, by the way, but, you know, it's whatever. I love it anyways. But yeah, so that's all I had to say and update and talk about. So hopefully when I do update you more, it'll be with me having read at least 100 pages of this and Pride and Prejudice. But until then, I'm okay with 1 or 2 people, but more than that, and I turn into a naked mole rat. That's what being shy feels like. Like my skin is too thin, the light too bright. Like the best place I could possibly be is in a tunnel far under the cold, dark earth. Someone asks me a question, and I stare at them empty-faced, my brain jammed up with how hard I'm trying to find something interesting to say. And in the end, all I can do is nod or shrug, because the light of their eyes looking at me, waiting for me, is just too much to take. And then it's over, and there's one more person in the world who thinks I'm a complete and a total waste of space. Hey guys, welcome to another update. Today is Wednesday, and as you could see in the previous clip, I have started reading Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rivka Brunt, and I'm 50 pages into it, and I definitely relate to June, especially with what I just read. I totally, it really resonated with me, especially with I was growing up, how it felt like trying to make friends, or just being in a situation where people are trying to talk to you and you just don't, like a traffic jam in your brain, and totally could relate to her on that. But yes, so 50 pages in, and we've barely gotten to her having any kind of contact with the mysterious man from the funeral. So clearly she understands enough about AIDS to know, like, how he could have gotten it. Because that's what I was wondering about a lot, is if she understood how you got AIDS. So there's that. I'm really liking the writing, and the story so far is pretty good. Like, we're just really getting into the story right now. And I find Greta, her sister, to be frustrating and just a bit of a jerk, because I understand, like, why she is kind of like acting this way towards June. I can see it. It's pretty obvious, like, even if, because it's never really talked about yet, and I don't think June herself knows, but it's pretty obvious that that they're what the reason, or at least part of the reason for why she acts towards June the way she does. But it's kind of like frustrating and all that. So it's just like one of those things where you're just like, you find yourself getting frustrated over it, and just like even yourself getting all wrangled up over it. But anyways, it's going so far on the pretty good side. Like, I haven't hit my stride with the book yet very well, fully yet, but I do think that once she actually, like, meets the mysterious man, then things will start, like, really progressing and seeing more about why certain things. So I'm trying to get this non-spoilery as much as possible, because I would like to go a little bit detail, but I don't want to be spoilery about it. But anyways, really good so far. And I did say that yesterday I was going to start Pride and Prejudice, but I don't think that I will be able to handle reading 2 books at a time, because I can barely read 50 pages before I need to, like, take a break. So I'm gonna, like, try not to be, like, worry so much about numbers and just focus on the book and enjoy it. I wish I could go back to that when I used to be just that way, where I could just read and then be okay with that. So that's kind of like the negative side of watching booktube videos and stuff like that, because it makes you want to be like that too, and then you're like, you can't be that way, because that's just not where your brain, like, how your brain can handle that amount of pages at a time. At least not right now, I can't. So yeah, it is what it is. But at least I'm doing better with this book, than with Mostly Gothic. So I will check with you in my other update. Did I talk about the fact that I finished The Two Towers? Because I finished The Two Towers. Yes, I did. So yes, I'll be watching The Return of the King probably at the beginning of my next vlog, so we'll see if I have anything to talk about when it comes to that one. Anyways, check you with the next update. afternoon, you guys. Today is Thursday, and I really cannot believe how fast this week has gone by. And I've only finished one thing, which, you know, was at the beginning of this week. And I thought I was going to be reading pretty quickly through till I'm home. But I've barely gotten to like 70 pages now. But I do plan to read a little bit more of this today. But I wanted to jump on here and talk about something, or at least a little bit of a worry that I have for one of the characters, and that is Greta. So I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a moment when with a teacher and there's like a situation, and it leaves me a little bit anxious over what's going on between her and her teacher, and it just like a red flag went up, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna keep an eye out on that, because if it's not resolved in any way, I'm gonna be a little bit bothered by that, because it's like, shouldn't even have that there if you're not even going to deal with it, because it makes me think something, but I am not 100% sure, like, so it needs to be resolved for me to be okay with this. So, I'm going really slow with this. It's not really the book's fault. I am enjoying June's story, but I kind of really would like us to be getting like more towards her actually meeting this mysterious person. I keep saying mysterious person because you don't really know, like, you're finding out these things alongside you when it comes to this person, and at where I'm at, you've already found out, but I still feel like you should find out with June, because then you'd be getting like that same, not maybe not the same reaction, but like at least you would feel with her, like, so anyways, yeah, so I'm trying not to say who this person is, just for that reason. But I kind of wish that we were already like there, and also the fact that this person wants their meeting to be secret is a little fishy to me. Like, I get like why this person wants it to be a secret, but as she's quite young, it's another red flag situation. So we'll see, because I do think that if anything sour happens, he should be held responsible for it in a way, because he's the adult, she's the child, and it's a little, you know, when it comes to that. So yeah, we will see as I continue on with this. Hopefully I would like to get to at least 150 pages by the end of the night, but we shall see if that happens. We aren't. Are you sad? You look so sad. Anyways, I will check with you when I have another update, and hopefully it's a more positive update. So I'm going to do my last update for today. I read up to 122 pages, and I'm not going to say what I thought about what I read so far, because I'm going to do that in my next video, where it's going to be just about this, and I'm going to do like a whole spoilery talk on this and continue my vlog through that video. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this. If you've read this or don't mind a spoilery video talking about this, go to my next video when it's up, because I'll be going into a lot more spoilery discussions on this there. And yeah, that's really all. My week is basically done anyways, so halfway through this. Well, not really, I'm not halfway through, but I'm like a third of the way through this, and hopefully maybe by Sunday or Monday I'll have finished this. Be kind of nice. But yeah, tell me down below what did you read this past week? And until the next video, bye!